Vincent Desharnais from the Canucks. So I guess first time as a Canuck joins us on the show. Big V, how you doing, my man?
I'm doing great. How are you?
Hey, I'm all right. Vincent Desharnais, Vancouver Canuck. Is that taking some getting used to for you?
For sure. It took a little bit to get used to it. I messed up a few times during some interviews saying Edmonton instead of Vancouver, but no, it's gonna be. I actually skated for the first time last week and put on the gear for the first time and different shades of blue. But no, I'm excited for sure. It's gonna be fun.
So we'll get to all hockey, and we also got to do an update because I'm looking at your locks, and you have them. Jeez, look at that mess, eh? It's unbelievable. Whew.
There's a lot of hair.
There
There's
is
a lot of hair.
When's the official shave coming off?
It's Saturday. Saturday at 12. It's happening.
So now, for anybody watching or listening, where can they go to make a donation? Because you can win like McDavid jersey. Do you have any Canuck jerseys yet, or is this still all Oilers stuff?
No, it's all Oilers. So Oilers fans, let's go. Let's keep going. Hey, for 2 more days. Help me out for 2 more days. But yeah, so there's a Gretzky signed jersey, there's a McDavid jersey, and there's a coffee jersey. So for every donation of $50, you get an entry for a draw. So if you donate $250, you get 5 entries. So we try for people to donate a little bit more so that we can raise more money, and it's all for a great cause. So it's been really cool to try to raise money for this cause and see how people jumped in and everyone was willing to help out. So it's been really awesome.
So where is the easiest way for them? Just go to your Instagram page. Is that right?
Yeah, Instagram or Facebook. The links are on there. So you just click on it, and from there it's pretty easy. Once you get on the website, it's pretty simple. But yeah, on my Instagram or on my Facebook page.
So you've been growing that out now for a year. I think this is the second time you've done it. Remind our listeners what's the cause and the viewers for?
Yeah, so it's the third time in 6 years that I'm doing it, and so it's called the Shaved Head Challenge. It's for a charity that is called Le Camp. So it's a charity in Quebec. And they support kids and their families that are going through cancer. So kids from 0 to 17 years old that get diagnosed with cancer. Le Camp will reach out to them and see what they need. Sometimes it's going to be they're going to need a car. Sometimes they're going to need treatment. Sometimes they're going to need money for food. Sometimes they're going to need appointments to go to a therapist. Sometimes you're going to need support after post cancer to kind of get back to their regular life. So Le Camp kind of just helps the whole family, even the parents, the brothers, the sisters, to kind of make the whole situation of dealing with cancer a little bit easier. And I think it's such a great cause. And growing up, I never had to deal with that. No one told me one day, hey, you're gonna have to lose your hair. Like, you won't have hair for a while, or you're gonna have to spend 3 months at the hospital going through chemo treatments, and you're gonna be nauseous and dizzy for 3 months. Like, just little things like that. I think that I try to put myself in those parents' shoes and those kids' shoes, and it must be awful. So for me to support that cause, it goes a long way, and I think it helps lots of families, lots of kids to make that horrible experience just a little bit better. So thank you, and by the way, I want to say thank you to all the Oilers fans who have donated already. It's been when I came on your show a few months ago, like, the fans were unbelievable, and I really appreciate it. And I want to say thank you because the fans definitely helped me to get to my goal, and it's been really cool.
Vincent Desharnais joins us. Now, when we talked to you the first time, you had all the McDavid stuff. There's still no Vinny Desharnais jersey. Like, what the hell's going on here?
Yeah, I know.
You might have to throw one in there, buddy.
Maybe I might remove Gretzky's and I might put mine instead.
Who the hell is Wayne Gretzky? That guy even
played?
Come on.
But the issue is that the Oilers fans won't donate if I put a Canucks jersey in there. They won't donate at all. So.
Well, yeah, that's true. But you must have don't you have do you have any Vinny Desharnais Oilers game worn jerseys? Do you have any of your
Yeah,
jerseys that you played
yeah,
in? Okay.
yeah, yeah.
How many do you
I kept probably 3 or 4.
have? Okay.
Three. I have three. I have three for sure. I have my first game. I have the Heritage Classic, and I have a Stanley Cup. I mean, three pretty legit, three pretty legit
Yeah.
jerseys that no one is touching, no one is seeing. Those are mine, and I'm keeping them for myself.
Well, the Heritage Jersey game is also when you scored, so it's an extra bonus.
Yeah,
Is it?
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Nice, nice. Vincent Desharnais joins us, a member of the Vancouver Canucks now, but Oilers fans, don't worry, he still loves you. You can help out the charity, and Oilers fan, they can put away the rivalry. It will be difficult. I know you're a real big fan favorite, Vinny, with a lot of Edmonton fans. You sign in Vancouver. Take me through that process for you, and were you ever close to re-signing in Edmonton? You know and was it at all a thought in your mind, like, oh, I'm going to like one of our biggest rivals?
Um, I mean, I said it during the season. I said it after the season. I want to stay in Edmonton. I've been part of the Oilers for 8 years. I've been bleeding Oilers. I've been bleeding orange. Like it's been Oilers ever since I got drafted. But it's also a business, and it's probably the aspect I like the least about hockey is the business aspect because it's I
Yeah.
don't know, it just takes away all the emotions and it's just numbers and it's not real life in my opinion. But that's the business I'm in, so I just had to deal with it. And um, obviously, you think about it, you're like, okay, well, if I go with the Canucks, I'll be playing them for quite a bit. And
Well,
but then after you think about it, you're like, well, it could have been worse. It could have been Calgary. So so I'm like, so I mean, Vancouver is not as bad as Calgary, so we'll take it. But obviously, it's going to be weird to play against the boys next season. I went to Connor's wedding 2 weeks ago, and seeing all the boys, it was so cool to see how happy they were for me, how excited they were. But it was also very sad to. It was kind of like the last times that we would spend together and not hit each other and try to slash each other. So I was very thankful for my time in Edmonton. I'm gonna miss it so much. I'm gonna miss the boys mostly, miss the fans, and that too. I mean, I posted on Instagram to thank Oil Country, and I got probably over 600 messages or comments on it, and they were all positive. And sometimes we always say, oh, like social media, they're negative. Everyone is negative, but I want to thank the fans because it was so heartwarming, and it was a tough decision for me. But seeing how happy like everyone was for me, it was really nice. It was a little bit of a I don't know, it just made me feel a little bit better about it because it was not a situation that I liked. It's not nice to change like that, but seeing how the fans reacted and how my old teammates reacted to it was very heartwarming and made me feel a little bit more comfortable with my decision.
Vincent Desharnais joins us, and you know what? Yeah, I think the fans here, they understand the business side of it. They love you now and until you play, and then suddenly, if you hit McDavid, well, that's going to change really quickly. But which of your former teammates are you expecting will be chirping you the most when you play head to head?
Probably Nursey. Probably Nursey. We checked each other a little bit already. He's like, all right, I'll see you in the corner. I was like, I'll be there. I'll be waiting.
Well, D on D corner, that doesn't happen very often. So unless I guess maybe one of you is rushing the puck, right?
It won't. It won't be me. It's gonna be Nursey.
Now, when you sign in Vancouver, did you have a conversation with Rick Tocchet? Like I hear Rick Tocchet, guys love playing for him. He's very intense. Like he's a coach who how he played the game was tough and rugged, and it would seem like, oh, this guy would really appreciate how Vincent Desharnais plays the game.
Yeah, we the GM and Talk and Adam Foote, they called me before I signed. So when they made me an offer on July 1st, they wanted to talk to me as well. So I had a great conversation then, And then last week we had another great conversation. And like you said, I don't know him that well yet, but just from talking to him 20, 30 minutes, both times, I just seems like a easy guy to talk to, and he seems like a fair guy where he's intense. He's gonna, he's gonna ask for a lot. He's gonna demand for a lot, but if you give it to him, he's rewarding. He's gonna reward you for doing what he asked for. And working with Adam Foote, I'm very excited. I've heard nothing but positive comments about him, positive things of how detailed he is as a D coach, and how he uses video quite a bit for players, for D-men to get better. So I think the coaching staff was a great fit for me, and being able to talk to them beforehand really made it easier for me to pick the Canucks. And yeah, it's going to be and actually a thing I was thinking about too, like when I signed, is the whole season, every time we would play Vancouver, the guys be, oh, not Vancouver again. Like, they're so intense, they're so like hard to play against, they're always in your face. And in playoffs we saw it. It was probably the team that gave us the most challenge, the biggest challenge of the first three series. So I mean, for me to go play for a team like that kind of matches my style of play, my mentality. They're very hard to play against defensively. They're mean. They're physical. So I'm excited to just get going with them, get to know the players, and get to know the coaching staff as well.
Vinny, I know you talked a lot about when Paul Coffey came in and how he really instilled a lot of confidence in you by, hey, man, like, here's highlights. Nurse can make a rush. Bouchard can make a rush. Desharnais can make a rush. And, I expect you to make plays. And, you said it was great to have that. And it was something that, at times maybe it was your confidence held you back a little bit from doing it. But have you put more of an emphasis in your off season on improving your puck skills and making more plays? So, now that, even though you're on a different team, you're like, hey, I can make plays in the NHL. I just don't have to go off the boards and out.
Yeah, I think I'm just more confident. Like I said last week when I skated, like I just felt like my puck play was a little bit better already, just because I was confident. I didn't really work on, yet. I haven't worked on it that much yet, but obviously for the rest of the summer I'll be working on it quite a bit. But once you get that confidence in you, I think that the rest of the work is a lot easier, because it's in me. I've worked on it throughout the whole season. Um, and I'm excited to work with a different D coach too, because he's going to bring something else to me. I've worked with, and it's pretty cool to say that I have my three D coaches so far in the pros are Dave Manson, Paul Coffey, and Adam Foote. I'm like, that's a pretty good resume. That's a pretty good. So it's really cool, and they were three totally different players when they were playing. So I feel like I got what I needed from Mance, and then I got what I needed from Koff, and now I'm going to Adam Foote, who's going to bring something completely different to my game. And I know I have more to bring. I know my ceiling, I haven't reached it yet. I haven't reached my ceiling. I think I'm just beginning. I think you give me 2 or 3 more years, I'll be even better. I'll keep working hard. I'll keep my foot speed, my puck skill, and if I have my confidence, I think I'm gonna be just fine. And especially with having those three coaches and all those all that experience that is given to me.
Vincent Desharnais joins us. Vinny, you've mentioned confidence quite a bit, and it's such a huge part of the game, right? Like, I'm sure you've had confidence at every other level, but you get to the NHL and it's like, now it's the best of the best, man. Like it, and it's not just like, like maybe McDavid and those guys come in and that's a little bit different, but for like the 90% of the players in the league, for the first part, you're just like, I'm just trying to keep my head above water here. And, I don't want to drown. I just want to survive. And it sounds like you're kind of past that point. Now you're like, you know what? I'm on top of the surfboard. I'm not necessarily just swimming out paddling to try to stay and catch the wave.
Yeah, no, you're 100% right, and I think that's kind of what I've been doing everywhere I've been. When I got to juniors, it was kind of the same thing. At first, I was just like, I just got to play. I just got to get in the lineup and play. And then once I play, it's like, okay, now I got to be a regular. Okay. And then I went to college, kind of did the same thing. I was scratch at first, and then you play a couple of games. Once you play a couple of games, you don't play to make plays. You play not to make mistakes. And then you get more comfortable. And throughout 4 years, I got better and got to the pros, and kind of the same thing. And I think that getting to the NHL is obviously a big step. So, but I think that that's kind of what I did in the last. I feel like one, I got called up 2 years ago, 2 seasons ago, and then I would say around halfway through this season, like the last season, like the second half of last season, I felt a lot more comfortable. There was kind of a switch. Well, cough definitely helped with that, but there was kind of a switch of like, okay, I'm here. I'm an NHL player now. It's not. I'm a bubble guy. I might be in between. I might be scratched. I might be sent down. Like I'm like, no, I'm an NHL guy. I know what I can do. I know I can bring something that teams need, and I know my role. I found my role in this league, and I know I can do this role for 4, 5, 6 more years, hopefully. Um, so it's yeah, I'm excited to have a new start somewhere else where now I know what's my kind of my recipe, my winning recipe for myself, and that's what I'm going to be focusing on.
Vincent Desharnais joins us. Vinny, we'll take a quick break. We'll come back with more here on Who Is It Wednesday. Former Oiler, member of the Vancouver Canucks, Vincent Desharnais on Sports 1440, Oilers Nation, YouTube, Facebook, and Twitter. Our big guest of the day today, a member of the Vancouver Canucks, Vincent Desharnais, once again. Vinny's going to be shaving off that mop on the top of his head here on Saturday. Look at that thing. You could get it. You could be in a band right now, right?
Seriously, a punk rock band, and just kind of a couple head shakes.
Oh yeah, 100. Look like you're like a bass guitarist.
Yeah. It's getting pretty hot. I'm not gonna lie. I'm kind of excited to be like you. I'm excited. I'm excited.
Buddy, you know what? It's. I remember. I know because you were laughing at me earlier in the season when I had.
I sure was. I sure was laughing at you.
Yeah, well, let's be honest here. Yours looks a lot better than mine did. That was a bad. And really, I blame you guys for losing that game. So, against San Jose. So it was really your fault. Although that loss seemed to turn your whole season around in a weird about way.
Sometimes that's what you need to get the Game 7 Stanley Cup Finals.
It's very true. Very true. Vincent Desharnais. Now, Vinny, I know most, you know what? It's obviously it's gutting to lose in the Stanley Cup Final. Obviously, in Game 7, I can't imagine it's even harder. But is there any time do you ever look back and be like it was a lot of fun up until that one game, right? Like, is there still able to see the fun of the run?
I mean, looking back at it, like it's still like the whole thing is fun. Like you have to see it that way, in my opinion. Like I never thought in my life, I dreamed about it, but I never thought in my life that I would be living like a Game 7 Stanley Cup Finals. Like it's surreal. And like the whole, like all the emotions that go through the whole game, like it was so fun to watch the game, and so like stressful, intense, and obviously you lose, and it's one of the worst pains that you feel. Like it feels like a family member that's really really close to you just died. Like it just, you feel so helpless, and you think about, okay, so the last 10 months were for nothing. Like that's kind of how you see it at the end of the day. But looking back at it, like taking a few weeks off, they kind of turn the hockey aspect off, and going back to it, and going back to the gym and talking to the guys and seeing the guys so happy. Man, congrats on the season, so cool! Wow, Stanley Cup Finals, like. And then it gives you a different perspective of, okay, maybe I got to see the big picture of like, yes, we did lose. It was one of the worst losses in my career. But at the end of the day, I went to the Stanley Cup Finals Game 7. And we played Team Dallas that finished, one of the best offense in the whole league, beat them in 6. Like you just go back, you look back, losing 3-2 against Vancouver, boom, come back, win 7. Like just things like that. Like starting with, whatever the record was, 2-12 or whatever, like being last in the league and finishing, how we did. Just all those little moments that, looking back at it, I'm so proud of it, so proud of the team, and it was fun. It was a fun experience. The whole thing was so fun, and yes, it was negative at the end, but at the end of the day, looking back, it was all positive, and it's just I like to say it's just another experience. It was a hell of a great experience, but it's just another experience.
Vinny, the fact that, there were so many different guys, I think there only up being like 9 players who played every game in the playoffs. Like, you had depth on that team and guys rotated in and out, and everybody
Yeah,
wants to play, right? Like, there's
yeah.
there's no doubt that everybody wants to play. How hard is it to kind of park that competitive nature and be a really good teammate when you're not playing?
Yeah, it's a challenge. Yeah, it was like I said, it was another experience for me. Something I've experienced to get scratched before. I've experienced, but in that kind of setting where I thought I was, playing well, where I thought that I was still helping the team every time I was playing, every time I was on the ice. I didn't think I was a liability, but I understood what happened. It's part of the game, it's the business, and it's you're down 2-1, you want to spark things up, and you want to make sure you don't go down 3-1, so you try things, and it worked out. So, I mean, I was, super happy for Broby when he scored. Just small little details like that. It's like, it's really cool. You try to see the positive, and I was so happy for Broby. And the first reaction was not, oh, great, Philip is playing. I was like, what the fuck is going on? Why am I not playing? And you get frustrated, and you're selfish, right? You think about yourself, um, and at some point, it's like I took a step back again. And it's like, okay, what's happening right now? I'm in game 4 of the Western Conference Finals. I just played all the games. I played a full season, and now I'm not playing tonight. Like, big deal. Nothing I can do about it. And you just kind of try to let it go, and you just try to have fun with it. And it was a struggle. Like, I had days where it's just you get frustrated, and you skate with the Black Aces, and you do like extra work at the end of practices, and I haven't done that in a month and a half, 2 months, and now it felt like a setback for me.
Right.
But it was part of the game, it's part of the business, and at the end of the day, whatever they did, they worked out because we won, in 6, and we ended up going to game 7, and we were one post away from tying the game and going to overtime. So, on a selfish point of view, did I enjoy it? Not even one bit. But you got to think about the team. The Edmonton Oilers were not Vincent Desharnais. It's the Edmonton Oilers, and it's 23 guys, 24 guys, and you look at a guy like Corey Perry that got scratched here and there, and Warren Fogle got scratched here and there, and you see those guys, and I had conversations with them, and it was kind of the same thing. Derek Ryan, the same thing that came back. It was like, Vin, the team is going to need you. Whenever they need you, just be ready. Like, that's how it is.
Yeah.
And yeah, and I'm glad I went through it, because it's another experience that I can bring to my toolkit that, who knows, I might use in the future.
Vincent Desharnais joins us. And then you got into the Stanley Cup final, though, Vinny. And you know what? You talk about that's a dream. Like, you're in the Stanley Cup final. Were you more nervous before that game or more excited than you've never been before in a game?
Probably excited, just because I didn't play the 4 games prior. So I just kind of told myself, hey man, like, you don't know if you're gonna play again, and I knew that, like, it was kind of like we needed to win. The lineups were kind of switching around, so I was like, okay, like, I just gotta enjoy it, because I don't know if I'll get a chance to play again in the finals. So I just try to soak it all in, and obviously there's nerves, and I think we talked about it, like the first like 2 shifts, and the puck was really bouncy, and maybe it was not that bad, but it felt very bouncy the first 2 shifts, and you're kind of like fighting a little bit more, and making like quicker plays and a little bit simpler.
Yeah.
But as the game went on, you get comfortable, and it's just like, hey, it's a game, like the same rules, the same puck, it's the same sticks I've been using for the last 10 months, and you just try to play hockey and have fun. And I would actually tell myself when I would come back to the bench and be, hey, do you realize this is the Stanley Cup Finals? Like, you're playing right now, man. Like, because I wanted myself to enjoy. I wanted myself,
Okay.
exactly, not to be like, oh, I got to play so well. My stick is tight. And I was like, no, like, this is my dream. Like, this is one of my dreams, to be here. So just enjoy it. And obviously we lost. It was not the game that we wanted, but it was a very cool moment to just live all the emotions, and it was so loud, and yeah, it was a dream come true for sure.
Oh, I can imagine. Now, what about game 7? The team comes back, you're down 3-0, and you tie it up. You get to game 7, and you're watching that game. Like when you're playing, you get on the ice and you're like, okay, I block out the nerves because I got to play. How are you as a fan watching game 7? Did you watch it? Were you in the dressing room? Were you in the press
Yeah,
box?
yeah, dressing room. Yeah, dressing room.
Are you
There was like
like,
4 or 5 of us.
are
There was
you a
4 or 5 of
pacer?
us watching it.
Like were you walking
No,
around or were you sitting?
so we it was the same guys that didn't play game 5 in Florida, right? So
Okay.
down 3-0, going to Florida, and it's like, or no, it was 3-1, right?
Yeah,
3-5,
3-1.
yeah, 3-1. 3-1. Obviously, it's a must win, and we all have our spots. Like a couple of guys grab chairs, other guys are on the floor, and like we all have our, like 4 or 5 of us, we all have our spots, and between the second and third, I think we switched spots, and they scored like early in the third period, like with 5 minutes in. And Kaner gets up. All right, boys, let's go. Change back. That's not good. Like they just scored. Like so, we thought that if we went back to our seats, then the boys would be okay. So we
Yeah.
ended up we switched back. We ended up winning that game, and then game 7 it was the same thing. Like guys like set up their seats. Like boys, same seats as last time. We know it. It worked. It worked game 5. That's what we're doing. So we all set up our seats, and then there's like 10 minutes left in the third, and it's not like we're still down. It's not working. So guys are like, all right, let's switch again. So, but at the end of the day, everyone was like the last 7 minutes. Everyone is standing up. Everyone is like hammering the walls, punching the walls. We all got. It's so you feel so powerless. Like you're just looking at it. You want to help the boys. You want to tell them, hey, what plays better, and because you see it. But it's a lot of emotions that you don't control, right?
Yeah.
It's a lot of things. It's just you just see it, and it's like you just really hope that the boys are gonna pull through, and you're gonna be able to hoist it. And um, obviously, it's the feeling afterwards is just awful. But for me to be able to live those emotions and to be there and to it was I'm very grateful for it.
When you were watching that first period, they score, and then I think it was 2 minutes later, a minute and a half. Cody Ceci with maybe the best pass of his life, right? And then it's Matthias Janmark on another huge goal from him. Like those two guys have a history in Game 7. Like Cody Ceci's like Mr. Game 7. He scored 2
Yeah,
goals.
Vancouver. Yeah,
To
Vancouver.
assist. Like that play, you guys must have went because I know as fans they would go crazy, but as a teammate to know how hard it is to make that play in that moment, you guys must have been going nuts at that time.
Yeah, like he scored and we all selling, we're all happy, we're all like hugging each other, high fiving, let's go, let's go. And someone goes, "Who made that pass?" I was like, "I don't know who," and they show the replay. I think it was Cease. Like, what? Cease made that pass? Everyone's like, what? Cease made that pass? Holy pass, man! Like it was pretty funny to. We didn't care about the pass at first, and then once we saw the pass, like we cared about it quite a bit.
And you know what? Like, hey, you got to step up. And as a guy, you've talked about, hey, you know what? Like, just you have to have confidence to say, hey, you know
Yeah.
what? I can make a play.
Yeah, and you just do it, and I learned a lot from Cease because he doesn't make a lot of plays like that, but he's gonna do it. Like he's gonna try sometimes, and sometimes it's not gonna work, and he doesn't come to the bench and he doesn't hammer himself on the head because he made it's like, well, I tried, it didn't work, and because that's how you make plays. You gotta make mistakes to actually for it to work.
Vinny Desharnais joins us. Vinny, you talk about your role. I think everybody knows, you're going to go into Vancouver. You're going to play a lot of defensive minutes. You're going to be on their penalty kill. You've really emerged as a really good penalty killer. Some guys are great power play guys. You've emerged as a good penalty kill guy. You take pride in eating shots, which is something not a lot of guys like to do. But can you work? How do you become a better penalty killer?
There's a lot of things you can do to work on the PK. First of all, video can be so you see like the patterns that. So I feel like power plays. It's like every year or every couple of years it changes. There's waves of new types of power plays and new types of PKs. So one of the things you can do is do a lot of video so you see the patterns of the best players. Like they don't change quite a bit. Like some teams are very similar and some players are very similar. So that's first thing. Second thing, you can work on blocking shots. I went to Can Tire a couple of years ago and I bought rubber pucks.
Okay.
And we have a drill that we do I didn't create, but I don't know, I just came up with it. And the guys actually, when I saw them at the gym a few weeks ago, they came to me. It was like they showed me videos of them eating pucks. One of my one of them is in the East Coast, the other one's is in the AHL. And it's like, look, man, like we block shots like you showed us, and we went down. And it was pretty cool to see because we worked on it with rubber pucks. And the other thing is just being efficient with your footwork. Not trying to cross over too much. Always trying to be square. Never try to turn your back. There's just few little details that you can work on. Having a good stick, kind of reading where the other guy's stick is. Is he a lefty? Is he a righty? So my stick is going to be more open, more closed. So it's small little details that in this league they make a big difference. But it's funny that you asked that because last year during the summer, that's what I kind of asked myself. I'm like, okay, I want to be a PK guy. How do I get better at it? So I actually started doing video, and that's when I started taking notes of okay, what I can improve on, what is great, and what I gotta get great. And yeah, I think that it was good this year. I think I got better. I think I learned a lot from a guy like Ekholm. I learned a lot from the coach Mark Stewart. Those two guys really helped me out. And I think that this summer I'm going to take another big step because now I have my confidence. I know what my role is. I know who I am, and I can just kind of focus on that.
Do you think, as Vinny Desharnais joins us here on Sports 1440, Oilers Nation, YouTube, Facebook, do you think having practiced against him for basically your whole NHL career, is there any insight you'll have as a penalty killer against the league's best power play?
I'm not telling you that. I mean, yes and no. They have so many options that you think you have them covered and you don't. Obviously, seeing them on a daily basis might help me a little bit. But it would be a lie to say that I know what to do against them and I know, some insights. They're so creative, and the forwards coach Gully, he's very very creative as well, and so I'm not excited to play against that power play, but I'm excited in a way because it's going to be a good challenge, and I love a good challenge on the PK.
Now, Vinny, you and Stuart Skinner had the post game high five that the video showed. Fans loved it. Stu, even if there was a game he didn't play, he would go out there and he would do it without you. Will you? Do you need a break? Like when you go to Vancouver, is it like you're cheating on each other if suddenly he has a new post game handshake with a guy? Is it too soon for you? How's that going to work into next season? Can you have
We talked about it at the wedding. So during the wedding, we booked like the same at the same hotel. We were renting the same car, so we knew it was going to be like our last time together. So
Okay.
we want to spend a lot of time together, which was great. But we talked about it, and he goes, "I swear to God, if I see you first game back, do the high five with Demko, I'm gonna lose my marbles." And it was pretty funny. But no, it's something that started with Skins. It started organically. We didn't plan it. We didn't, it just happened, and we just kept it. And it's something that I was doing with him, and I don't think I'm gonna do with anyone else. And yeah, it's gonna be sad not being able to do it with him for sure. And but it's yeah, that's the business. But I'm gonna miss Skins for sure. And even like most guys, like by the end of the season, most guys had their own their handshakes with me, right? Some guys would put it low, some guys would put it high, some guys would just bump me. So we all had our old handshakes, which was really cool. Kind of made the winning even more fun.
Yeah. Well, and I think that's something that at times, yeah, it's your job, but it's still a game, right?
Yeah,
And
you gotta have fun.
you got to have fun with it, right? And it's the one thing I've always appreciated from you. We got a lot of texts flying in that the thing I always like about Vinny's is honesty. You kind of talk just you're in the NHL. And I've always said to a lot of people, like there's a few guys I've covered over the years who I'm like every day in the NHL was always something they appreciated. Steve McIntyre was probably the first guy I ever met, like, who every moment for him, and now, and he didn't have as long as a career that you're going to have or anything. And, he kind of knew that maybe it was borrowed time. So he appreciated every moment, but you've always been someone who kind of, I don't want to say that you don't get too big for your britches, or you're all of a sudden like, hey, you know what? Like, I'm too cool for school. I'm an NHL guy. You're just like I'm in the NHL every day. Like, this is still kind of pretty cool.
Yeah, it's I mean, my my parents don't like it when I say that, but I say, like, I shouldn't be here. In a way, like, I shouldn't be in the NHL. If you look at the odds, if you look at the previous guys who got drafted in their third year, seventh rounder, like, that's the last chance that you get the draft. Like, third year, seventh rounder, like, you can't go past that. It's so, you look back, you just look at everything that I kind of went through, my journey. Like, I shouldn't be here, and I made it. So that's why I'm like, well, and some days are hard. Some days, like everyone else, you wake up and you're like, oh my God, I want to go to work. Like, sometimes, I don't really want to practice today. Like, it's not, I want to do something else, but it's the job. And I keep reminding myself, like, hey, like, you're in the best league in the world. Enjoy it. Like, be grateful. Just have fun. And I always mention my journal, but that's something that helps me the most with that. In kind of going back and reminding myself that, hey, you're in the best league in the world. Like, even throughout playoffs when I was not playing, or during the season, if I had a bad game or two or a bad sequence, and I'm hard on myself and I want to play well, I want to perform. But then I would, like, at night, I would write in my journal. I would always go back to, hey, you're in the best league in the world. Smile, go have fun. No matter what happens, just give everything you got and go have fun. And yeah, it's been working well for me. I've been enjoying it. There's still days, like, it's important to mention because people see it. They're like, well, so that guy only has good days. Or like, no, I have bad days too, like everyone else. But
No.
by thinking about it, by trying to be grateful, by trying to focus on what's positive, what's in front of me, then it helps me kind of get through those days that are a little bit harder.
Journaling, how long have you been journaling?
I would say 3 years, 3 to 4 years,
And
almost.
did you notice that when you started to write down, whether it was this is what I want to accomplish, or this is me going in the moment, that even reading it the next day or reading it 3 months later, like, did it really help you mentally as far as preparation or just enjoyment overall?
Yeah, it just I feel like it simplifies the experience I'm going through. Um, a good example during playoffs. I'm not playing, getting scratched. It's my birthday. Like, everyone is texting me, "Why you're not playing? Why this? This is bullshit. This and that." Like, the family, my parents. My parents are in town. My agent is like, there's just so much happening. Everyone is so negative. And at some point, I'm like, I'm like, okay, everyone to, sorry for the term, shut the fuck up, leave me alone. And it's like, I need time for myself to take it back. And I started writing what was happening. And at the end, I'm like, okay, so is it that bad? And I wrote, like, I'm in the best league in the world. I'm on private jets. I have food. I have unlimited food. I have a lovely apartment. I was writing everything that was positive in my life. And I at the end, I'm like, oh, but I'm not playing tonight. I'm like, okay, well, my life is pretty good right now. I can be positive. Yes, it's frustrating, but seeing it for me, like, some people, it might not be that, but for me, it just helps me kind of seeing it. I'm reading it. I'm like, okay, this is it. Like, it's just pen on paper. It's pretty simple. That's all it is. I'm okay. I'm still alive. I'm healthy. My parents are healthy. Like, it just kind of simplifies the whole, like, how everyone reacted, and it just gives me, like, those negative vibes,
Yeah.
that frustration. And for me, it was, I took a step back. I did a meditation, and then I wrote my journal, and it just kind of eased down everything that was happening.
Well, it makes a lot of sense. We do have a lot of texters saying, "Oh, now Vinny's a Canuck," and suddenly he's swearing. So they're having fun with it already. See, the rivalry is already coming through. So that's
Perfect,
yeah.
perfect. I'll be swearing a lot more.
Um, One last one for you, Vinny. Again, for all those, Vinny's joining us because he's a good sport, and we've really appreciated getting to know each other over the years, and obviously we'll still talk. But this Saturday, he's shaving off his head to help young kids and their families who are dealing with cancer. If you want to help out and make a donation, every $50 donation, you'll get a draw. There's a Gretzky signed jersey. There's McDavid signed jerseys, Paul Coffey signed jerseys. Like it's, basically it's a Hall of Fame signed jerseys is what it is, which is pretty sweet. Go to Vinny's Instagram page is the best way where you can make a donation. Any donations appreciated, of course, but if you want to win one of the cool jerseys, you can do that. I do have a question for you. Are you wearing 73 next season in Vancouver?
Yes, I am.
Okay.
I am. You can't change a winning number like that. That's the number that they gave me first day in 2016, first day of Dev Camp. That's the number they gave me, and I was like, well, you know what? It was meant to be. That's going to be my number in the National Hockey League for the rest of my career. If I can get it, that's the number I'm getting.
Hey, that's fantastic. I like my nephew's actually wearing 73 in Ottawa again because that was the number he got. So I get it. I understand it. Vinny, it's always great to catch up with you, man. We hope to have you again on in the future. Best of luck. Enjoy getting that trim on Saturday because there's nothing better than down to the wood. I can tell you that. It looks good.
Nothing better. Hey, and Jason too. If I have a deal for you. You've been mentioning to me. You want my jersey. You want my in the whole raffle. You want my jersey to be in there. If you donate to the cause, I'll put a jersey in there.
Done.
If the Jason Gregor show donates to the cause, I'll put a Vancouver Canucks jersey in there.
Oh, all right, buddy. I'll be putting it in for sure. Perfect. Vancouver Canuck fans, you should tweet it out to them. They got a pretty big group. Maybe not as good as Oilers fans, but there's a pretty big group of them. So you know what?
We'll see. I haven't experienced it yet. I'll be able to tell you after 2 years. I'll be able to compare it.
Yeah, awesome. Well, we'll be in touch, man. And yeah, when the show's over, we will make a donation for sure for the cause. Great for you to do. It's a fantastic cause for kids who hopefully never have to go through it. But just in case they do, this gives them and their family a lot of support. Always good to catch up with you, my man. We'll talk to you again soon.
Awesome. Thank you so much for your time. I really appreciate it. Thank you.
You bet. That is Vincent Desharnais from the Vancouver Canucks. Never swore when he's a member of the Oilers. That's all I know. It's already jerk factor.